Get ready for the Squawking Eagles Podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles. Think different. Think Squawking Eagles Podcast.
Against Tyro Lue. Baseline right, he backs up, he fires two balls. Got it again! He's way too good! He steps around Lue and drilled it! 7 straight points by Iverson. Looked like he was dead in the water.
I can't tell you what the feeling was like. I can't duplicate it. I was in the moment. I just know he fell in front of me. I don't know how I even thought about stepping over him like that. I was just playing basketball.
I remember I'd look at all the coaches and we'd all kind of smile because we'd never seen anybody do something like that before and probably would never see somebody do it again.
AI dropped 48 in game 1. He seemed to be sending a message, you're not going to break me. I'm going to break you.
You can take your sweep and sweep it away as the Sixers shock the world with a Game 1 victory here over the world champion Los Angeles Lakers.
And welcome to the Squawking Eagles Podcast. I am Mike, your host. I'm joined by Miguel. How's it going, buddy?
What it do, Scooby-Doo? Here we go.
So what you just listened to is from 23 years ago, Allen Iverson's step over and Tyronn Lue. 23 years ago.
A great callback to the last podcast when we were saying the what ifs of what if they would have won that series, right?
That's right. Today, 23 years ago today. It's pretty wild how time flies like that.
Jesus, Lord. Man.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Long time.
I still remember my reaction to that game. Like, everybody thought we were going to get swept, like they were just talking about. And they come out and they laid on Kobe and Shaq. And, what an exciting feeling that was that night.
You see in that video, you see Phil Jackson screaming at Iverson to get to like throw something or get to him. Like, he was not happy on the sideline when he hit that shot.
He'd be all right. He lived.
He lived. Right. So today in the episode, we are just the two, you and I again. Mark is some family gathering, so he won't be here.
Summertime. You know how we do family gatherings.
Yes.
Shouts out to Mark and his father.
Hey yo. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of a top 5 episode here. Got a few things to go over, like top 5 Eagles players that we're expecting for 2024, and so we'll do a little rundown for that, and then we'll talk a little bit about some headlines that's been in the news this week. Before we get started, you want to follow us over on Instagram, Squawking Eagles Podcast. If you want to buy some merch, head on over to TeePublic. It's in our link in our bio. And then also want to follow us on Spotify and YouTube. So this week in Eagles, I guess, news and maybe around the NFL, let's do the Eagles news first, is that Jalen Hurts talked to the media, I guess it was today. And his I guess the takeaway from it is that he said that the Eagles offense this year is going to be 95% brand new. Not going to see
new inventory. New inventory was the exact words he said.
New inventory.
Repetition. So looks like he's happy. It looks like he has a big part in calling or maybe adjusting plays, because it looks like he says in the interview, it's good to see what people are comfortable with and not comfortable with in their skills and make adjustments in the playbook according to those things. So it's good to see that that Jalen's working hand in hand with the OC to work on this playbook for this year.
Yeah, it does. It's it's a brand new playbook, meaning that this is not Nick Sirianni's playbook, and so he has taken his hat out of the ring for calling plays and or being like involved in the plays. So it's going to be on Cullen Moore and Jalen Hurts, who I don't even watch the OTA videos. He looks swole.
Yeah, he looks a little bit bigger, but let's hope that it doesn't affect him like as much as it did last year. Remember, he looked like he was running a little funny in the beginning of last season because he was a little bit bigger. But who
slower.
knows?
Definitely, he was definitely running slower last year.
Yeah, true.
He was slower, and
So,
it could be because he was wearing different pads. It could be because he was injured. No one, nobody ever said any of that stuff. But he definitely wasn't himself last year through the majority of the year, I'd say.
Right. But let's see. Brandon Graham even came out and said, last year the coaching staff wasn't in the right position to help them win. So that was a big nod to what we thought of last year, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing with Patricia and that whole defensive scheme that they had going on back there, and switching coordinators in the middle of a 10-1 run to switch to Patricia, which was confusing. So there's a little confirmation. Let us know that what we thought was the problem is the problem. Somewhat of the other problem. Yeah, we still aren't allowed to talk about the other problem, but there was other problems in that locker room.
Yes, yeah. We, as we know, there are other things that could be very bad to an environment, and we'll have to discuss that when we're allowed to.
Yeah.
Also is that they got rid of a lot of guys, not just the coordinators. They also brought in a few new faces to help with the D line, D backs. They are. Jordan Davis was just talking about Coach Wash. No, is it Coach Wash? Yeah. Nolan Smith was talking about Coach Wash, how he's out there. That's Washburn. He's a brand new linebackers coach. So
that's not the line coach that was there before.
I don't think so. It's a big dude.
Maybe it's his son. Maybe it's his son.
Maybe.
I don't know. They got to be related somehow.
He's a big dude. This guy. He could play.
Okay.
He can definitely play. This guy. So that's a good thing that these guys, they're fresh guys. They're new faces. That could be. It could be a little bit of a difficult change. Having two new coordinators back-to-back years. Like that. Not many teams do that. Where back-to-back seasons they have brand new coordinators. I have not. They've seen that, and that would say that there's I guess there's a bad turnover. I guess the personnel for the Eagles may be the problem. Hopefully, it's not the personnel, and it was just the coaching.
Well, we'll see, because we had that concern last year, right? It was new coordinators, new game plan. We expected to have some hiccups, and we didn't get them until we got to 10-1.
Yeah,
which I hate to keep bringing that up, but that's just the way the season was.
That was the benchmark.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if this team can start the way they started last year. I know we haven't played the win game yet, but we'll see when we get there how that's going to look. You got to take everything into account. Hopefully, we get through OTAs and training camp with no major setbacks as far as injuries. So we'll see.
Speaking of OTAs, a lot of people have showed up for OTAs, and a player that has shown up is playing in a position that he's not regularly normal to, which is James Bradbury. He's been playing at safety. So that's a sure sign that he will not be on a corner this year, and that they're trying to figure out how and where. Successful corners to become safeties. The first guy I think of is Malcolm Jenkins. He was a corner before he was a safety.
Right.
Could this be a transition period for James Bradbury where he has another a rejuvenation in his career and playing safety?
I really hope so. At this point, he's not a speed guy anymore. He's kind of lost a step, but he has length. And yes, he might have lost a step, but he still has, first round talent, athletic ability, right?
Sure.
So it's going to be interesting to see him play in that position. It kind of reminds me of remember when the Green Goblin,
Jalen
Mills moved from cornerback to safety. It didn't really work out too well, and then he went on to the Patriots and had a pretty decent couple of seasons there, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't recall him, being a weakness in that defense. But so we haven't had a good history with it, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
It should be interesting to see if it works out. If it doesn't work out, there really isn't any room for him, I would say, in this secondary at all.
And we saw him walk off the field the other day with the trainer. So who knows what that was about? I mean, maybe precautionary reasons. Maybe came up with his hamstring tightened up or something. Who knows what it means? But I wouldn't be surprised if Howie found a trade partner to send him to. I've heard some rumors out there. Bradbury for the Broncos safety. Can't think of his name right now. But that's one of the trades I've heard, as well as bringing another veteran receiver in here for him. So I don't know. It's still early. We still got 90 plus days.
I think 94 days, I think, till for week 1. So.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, we still got some time. This is still Howie season. And, Howie will look into what OTA brings us and fill in the gaps from there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this offseason is going to, there's still so much more to be done with this team that, we're so far away from an actual starting lineup. And then, we have such new rookies here that can be developed, and they can maybe develop quickly. Like I know Quinyon Mitchell just signed his rookie contract. So all these guys are getting signed up, and they're going to be ready to go, and it's going to be exciting.
Have we heard what the numbers of that contract is? Because I tried to look it up, but it didn't.
Yeah, they just said he was signed. I'm not sure what they were yet, but I'm excited to see what it is because, Howie doesn't mess around. Like Howie got Devontae and AJ Brown signed way before Justin Jefferson got his signed, and Justin Jefferson's contract reset the market. He's now the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
What's the breakdown on that?
I know the breakdown. It's like 152. Is it 152 million? He's making as much as Jason Tatum is.
Right.
Which is wild. But this proves that he thinks that the Vikings are going to be viable this year with. Yeah, he got 140 million. So 4 years for 140 million.
35 a year. But how much was guaranteed?
110 million guaranteed.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. So JJ McCarthy might be, the guy for him. So hopefully that works out for the Vikings.
Did they do it? I mean, it's smart, right? You don't have to pay your quarterback right now. Pay your skill position player. Let him grow with the rookie quarterback, and then when that rookie quarterback, hopefully within these next couple of years, becomes a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, you'd be able to pay him because now you don't have to pay that star receiver as much money, or he's already been paid. Luckily for us, I guess Howie saw the writing on the wall, and he signed AJ to that extension and Devontae to his extension, and because I don't think we afford Devontae if we sign him after Justin.
I'm pretty sure I would say you're right because Devontae is. I would say he's not. Maybe he's not better than Justin Jefferson, but he sure is he's very talented. And
he definitely is.
He would be a number one receiver on anyone else in the NFL.
Oh, definitely.
So. That would warrant.
I would hate to see Devontae in any other uniform.
I know. Yeah.
I just feel like between him and AJ, like their personalities, from what I've seen on Instagram, like they complete opposites, but they mesh so well with each other.
They do. Yeah. I'm excited to see what these next couple of years with AJ and Jalen and Devontae are going to be. Because it could very well be very entertaining.
Very much.
Another thing is they were talking about Stoutland, and they asked him how he felt about Jason Kelce not being there, and he says he misses him. He misses him being in the lineup in the locker room, and that he feels like he lost a real good friend, and that's a big hole. I really do feel like Jason Kelce not being there is going to be a problem. Well, it could lead to a problem. Let's just say that.
How so? Like, what are you expecting?
Because I think he took a lot of pressure off other players from the media because he warranted a lot of attention from the media. Would you say? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
So now that personality is no longer there to have media gravitate to that personality. So which personality is going to be gravitate and pull media to keep away from other players in that locker room?
I mean, that's kind of the reason why you pay AJ and Devontae, right? I mean, not only does it fall on Jalen, I mean, then you got Saquon. So you got 4 stars that can split that attention. You know what I mean? And you still have Lane that's going to probably, take credit or punishment for the line, whatever the line does, right?
Yeah.
So, the other guy's going to have to grow. I'm not having a brain fart on the new center's name right now.
Cam Jurgens.
Yeah, Cam Jurgens is gonna have to grow into that spot, and Jason Kelce has spoken highly of him. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll all see how this unfolds, and like I said at the end of last year, this was going to be a rough off season. We were going to hold your hand through this, and here we are. We're in the off season. We're about to get into the new season, and we're going to find out all together what this team is really made of. And so far, we see a lot of good things that that I see from this team right now. The way that they've been gelling together, the way they talk to the media. I just saw today they coming off the practice field, they were talking about tonight's game between game 1 of the Dallas and Boston series for the NBA championship. And just the way that they were coming off the field and talking to each other it's a good sign.
Good. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Because Jalen Hurts, I know he's very good with the media. He doesn't, he always leaves us with these quotes that he keeps. He also keeps like trademarking too. These quotes that he does. He's like 4 or 5 trademarks now. Yeah. So he's a good interviewer, I guess, but he does just kind of leave you wanting more because he doesn't really dive deep too much into what we're looking for.
I mean, listen, when you play in the NFL, the less you say to the media, the better, right?
Yeah.
Because everything gets broken down, especially with the Eagles. Like, as big as this team is in Philadelphia, everything gets broken down to micro. So you have to be careful what you say and what you're putting out there. Just the other day, Brandon Graham comes out and says, the coaching staff last year was not put in the correct position.
Right.
So
that's an Andy Reid quote. Andy Reid, used to have all those quotes. I didn't put them in the right position. This was this and that. Like, he was notorious for those things.
All right.
Yeah. So in some other Eagles news, Josh Jacobs was on the Green Light podcast with Chris Long, who he calls the Eagles, his team.
Right.
He really loves the Eagles.
He does.
Josh Jacobs said that the NFL has told the Eagles and the Packers not to wear green when in Brazil because of gang-related issues. He went on to say that Josh Jacobs, that is, he went on to say is that the teams are going to be required to stay in the hotels at all times if it's not game day.
Really?
Just stay in the hotel. Don't go out.
Really? That's interesting. I found that very interesting.
It's very interesting. And now remember, they're not in like Rio. They're not in these major cities. They're in a Sao Paulo. It's not a huge city. It's not a major city, but it's apparently gang-related incidents have happened around the town, around the city, and the NFL is trying to shore up security there. And that should be, don't send 2 teams that are predominantly green to a country, to a city that there is gang-related problems with the color green.
Yeah, somebody in the NFL front office didn't do their research. That's going to be something that logistically I don't know how they fix, because how do we do this? Like, do the Eagles wear the disgusting yellow and powder blue uniforms? Like, how do we do? Does the Packers wear the bumblebee yellow and brown?
Oh yeah,
Packers
stuff?
Like, how do we resolve this? I don't understand how they.
Well, I think for the Eagles, it would just be total blackout uniforms like they had when against the Packers a couple years ago. That would be all black.
But doesn't it have green in it?
Take the green out. I think they just put take the green, turn it to gray. You're good.
It'd be interesting.
The thing is,
with a new uniform.
Or the Packers. See, I don't know what the Packers are going to do, because they're green. They have green in the G, and so are you going to have are they going to? The Packers should just wear University of Georgia colors. It's the same uniform, basically.
Basically, you're right.
Basically.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. I would like, and it could be something new for. Well, I don't know how that would play, because it is a new market. You know how they have the city jerseys for baseball, right? Or they have the city jerseys for the NBA. Yeah, City Connect.
Yeah.
What if the NFL did a version of that with international connect, and then do something with the country that they're in, and then logistically, on TV, it doesn't look right for actual fans to see their team in different colors. It doesn't.
I would not be a fan of that. I don't think.
Yeah, it wouldn't play well. Yeah.
No, I'm.
Well, good luck to whoever's in charge of handling that in the NFL.
They really are. They've kind of really handcuffed themselves, because it would have been easier if they was just one team that was maybe green, but they have two teams that are.
That's why I think the Browns made sense. I don't understand why Green Bay, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So that's news around the NFL. Oh, also, what do you think? They just released, the Minnesota Vikings just released their alternate uniforms, where they're calling it the Winter Soldiers. No, they're calling it Winter Soldier, I think they're called, or something like that.
I don't know the name of them, but I saw them.
Winter Warrior. That's what it's called. Winter Warrior.
Yo, I thought the Bengals white uniforms were fire last year.
Oh yeah. No.
This takes the cake, man. This looks incredible. They whoever designed it, great job. Can't wait to see how it looks on TV.
I'm excited for that. I don't know if you follow Isaiah Rodgers on Instagram, but he during his suspension, he was practicing in Eagles uniform, and he was wearing a white Eagles helmet.
Ooh. And
it looks awesome. That is something Eagles should be wearing. Maybe they'll wear that in Brazil.
Maybe. White uniform?
All white uniform.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and the Packers can wear all yellow.
There you go. That could work.
So that might be something right there. If maybe it's a nod to a little sneak that the Eagles do have an all white uniform in their bag somewhere.
I like it. I almost like it as much as the Celtics just came out to warm-ups wearing Bill Walton shirts. So Bill Walton.
Nice. Yeah. Bill Walton was he was a great player.
Mike, I mean, not to switch gears on you here, but sports goes hand in hand. Philadelphia. If you're a Philadelphia fan of Philadelphia teams, you're usually a 4-for-4, maybe a 5-for-5. If you like soccer. I kind of had this debate with some coworkers. It's I don't know who to actually root for in this NBA Finals, right? Boston is our sworn enemy.
Yep.
Dallas is, not in so much in basketball our sworn enemy, but it's Dallas. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So who, as an NFL, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan or Philadelphia fan in general, who are we supposed to root for?
It's tough. That is a great question. I can look past. I hate the Cowboys. I don't. I don't like necessarily hate the city of Dallas, but I very much hate the Dallas Cowboys because you know what? The Dallas Cowboys don't even play in Dallas. So
no, playing Arlington.
Yeah, they play in Arlington, and I'm not sure where the Dallas Mavericks play, but I bet they're closer to Dallas than they are the Cowboys.
I agree.
You know?
And Dallas is a great. I've been to Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was there. Well, I do know why I was there, but I never in a million years ever planned going there. But I was in Dallas one time, and Dallas is a great, fun city.
Yeah, I have friends that they moved to Dallas from Philadelphia, and they loved it, but then they moved back, and yeah, it's just I don't have a problem with the city. I just have a problem with that football team.
Right.
But also we were kind of bred and raised to hate that football team too. So
yeah, true. But so who are you looking?
Dallas, 100% Dallas. Yeah, 100%. I can't stand the Celtics.
Right.
I never have liked the Celtics. My brother loved the Celtics growing up because he loved Larry Bird, and I couldn't like the Celtics. They were just a dirty team. I just didn't like them.
Yeah,
never liked them.
When I was younger, I was kind of partial to the Celtics only because it was like when I saw the green, I was like Eagle green.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I kind of did that until I learned our history and why we were not supposed to like Boston.
Yeah.
But then it's like I look at Dallas team. I couldn't stand Kyrie, especially during the COVID situation and his whole debacle that he put everybody through. And so I don't look at it as I'm rooting for a team. I'm rooting for Luka. I think I want to see Luka win a championship. So if Luka's on Dallas, then I guess I'm rooting for Dallas, but I'm really rooting for Luka.
I wasn't a fan of Luka per se, but I watched him on Dude Perfect. He was on Dude Perfect with them, doing trick shots and everything, and they were interviewing him. I like the guy after that. I'm like, okay, this guy's a cool guy. Like he's he's hanging out with YouTubers and doing trick shots and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, I'll root for this guy. I can root for him.
Yeah.
And so basically, I would love to see him win a championship. That'd be
I don't know. I don't know if I sent you the video, but did you see when he was playing in his home country? Like the haughtiness of that fan base, like
he's gonna be he's gonna be perfect. He's gonna be just at home for him. He's just the video has people like these huge banners and screaming and like horns.
They're like chanting and jumping up and down and like
waves.
A wave of people. Just it's ridiculous.
Nothing like I've ever seen at a basketball game for sure.
Yeah, I've never seen that, but I would love for that. That's another thing. Like I wish the fandom that Europeans have existed here in the United States. Like the chants, the songs, everything that they come up with during the game or, however they come up with them. I wish that was more done here than anything.
Yeah.
Like, we have the fight song, but
it's like not many teams have fight songs. I always kind of like go think about like, European countries have they've got quite a bit of a head start over United States. We're only almost 200 years old. And so over 200 years old. So they've kind of got leveled up a few more times than we have in like I guess competition wise. They've been around the block a few times.
They've prestiged more. You said it correctly.
So I'm excited to actually. I'm a little excited to watch the NBA Finals this year, knowing that the Sixers will definitely be in there next year, right?
Yeah, sure. Right.
All right, let's get into some of our top 5 categories this on this episode.
Let's do it.
So I guess our first top 10 could. I'm sorry, it's top 5. Our first top 5 could be: what are some of the 5 things you're looking forward to in this season?
5 things I'm looking forward to in this season?
Yeah.
Poof.
I would say number 1 would be seeing the Vikings new uniforms.
Yeah, that too. Number 1, I'm looking to seeing the new kickoffs.
Yes.
I'm looking to seeing how the new kickoffs work and how that sets up teams and how they exploit the new system. Because I know there's some special team coaches that have been sitting all season trying to figure out ways how to exploit this and use it to their advantage. So I'm very interested in seeing that.
I'm also excited to see, how about this, that they might use get rid of the chain gang this year and use the digital chain. So that should be. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's going to be a move in the right direction. I think getting those guys off the sideline, because you've seen how much they either slow down the game or give you a cringe-worthy moment. Because some of those guys take hits on the sidelines, and you're like, "Ooh, that guy was old."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You shouldn't be taking hits like that on the sidelines.
Right? Yeah. So, and I still, to this day, don't understand why they use old people to do stuff like that. And I'm not. I say old as because I don't know their ages, but they look like they're in their.
They're definitely older than us. They're definitely older than us. Yes.
Why you wouldn't get like a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old to hold it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Practice squad guys come out and hold it.
Yeah, very well. Like somebody can actually like take a hit. Like somebody can really hit.
Or move out the way. Just that. I just want that. Like just move.
Just move. Get out of the way. Just move. That's those three things. What about I'm excited to see week 1. The Giants said they're going to wear their Olive Garden jerseys on week 1, so I'm excited to see those
Olive Garden jerseys.
Yeah, they wear their Olive Garden khakis that they're going to be wearing.
They're wearing it week 1.
Week 1, they're going to wear.
Get it out the way early.
Yeah, it's called. I think they're calling them the Centennial jerseys. What I call them the Olive Garden going out pants.
Yeah, I don't. Man. I would have saved those jerseys to see how the season started out first.
Right.
And then, like, if the season started going bad, you just bring them out and you just go, hey, look at this ugly ass jersey. Don't look at the team. Don't look at what's going on in the field.
Right. Forget about that.
Jerseys. Yeah.
And you have another one? I have one more if you have another one.
Good. I don't have another one.
I'm excited to see what Netflix is going to do for these games on Christmas Day. How are they going to produce them? Who's going to be announcing and calling the games? Will there be
commercials? Will there be angles that you can like choose to move to? Yeah. That'd be interesting.
I'm actually excited to see how that pans out.
Yeah, we know Mark's not. We know
Mark is not. He's not excited for that. He's not excited. He's not going to be watching it. I'm sure, right? He's going to.
No, he's not supposed to be.
Right, he's not supposed to. He's not allowed to. So, all right. What do you want to do? Top 5 games looking forward to this season, or what do you have on your list?
Yeah. All right. So obviously, I'm gonna go week 1 strong. Chiefs Ravens. 1, I want to see if Xavier Worthy is going to be a big part of that that offense for the Chiefs, right?
Well, they're going to have to. Everybody's going to jail.
Very much so. So you're gonna catch somebody. He has to have somebody catch the ball besides Mr. Travis Kelce.
F1. Yeah, right. I was gonna say F1 racer, the Mr. Rashid Rice.
Right. Yeah. No. Nah. Is he playing? Has he been suspended?
I don't think he's been suspended yet, but it's bound to come about because it definitely violates the NFL some NFL policy. I'm sure.
Right. It's got to be right. Yeah. We'll see. And I also want to see the improvements that the Ravens did. How that affects Lamar and that offense and what they do.
With Derrick Henry, with the addition of Derrick Henry. So that's your week 1. That's your first game you're looking forward to?
First game I'm looking for, yep.
I'm looking forward to week 11. Texans at Cowboys.
Monday night that was on my list too.
Okay,
all right. On my list too.
Right. I'm excited for that game.
Let's see who the real Texas team is.
Yes.
Because Dallas hasn't been that team for quite a while. I mean, they had their winning seasons, but I mean, what did they do this offseason?
Not much. I think there's so much more excitement and upside to the Texans, whereas the Cowboys, if you just look at them just by naked eye, the Texans have more of a upscale or like upward trending, whereas Cowboys are not trending. They're trending down.
They're trending the other way.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see that.
This season is going to be the make or break because they have to re-sign Dak after this, and if they're not committed to Dak, what are they going to do? I mean, I know they got the kid Lance from Sanford last year.
No, they did not pick up his option. I think they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so I don't think he's actually on the team.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Trey Lance?
Yeah, Trey Lance.
Yeah, I don't think you looked that up. The next game I would be looking forward to is week 7, 49ers, Chiefs at 49ers. That's the Super Bowl rematch.
Okay, nice. I don't have that on my bingo card, but okay, I see where you're going there.
Okay. So that is another one I'm looking forward to. And then
he's still on the Cowboys.
He's still on the Cowboys. Well, they didn't. I know they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. I know that.
All right, go ahead. I'll look for the contract.
Yeah. Another game I'm looking forward to is another week 11, Chiefs at Bills. Now, Chiefs at Bills is a big one because they faced each other in the playoffs again last year. Mm-hmm. The Bills traded with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs ended up drafting Xavier Worthy.
Right.
So by week 11, we'll know if Xavier Worthy was worth it or not.
Was worthy.
Right. Was he worthy or not?
Right.
So by week 11, we'll know if the Bills are also, worth it or not worth it. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, definitely. I got another team, week 5, and I don't know. I just want to see these two teams play. I feel like, it's the Packers versus the Rams, in LA. I'm interested to seeing Love against Matt Stafford and see. I don't know. I just have this, I guess, affinity for the Packers because of my cousin. So I want to see how good they're going to be. I mean, we're going to see week 1 how bad they are because we're going to beat the hell out of them. But I want to see their trajectory after we whoop.
And that's so. We're just that you have the Packers right now talking about them. I reached out to a Packers Instagram page. And I asked them if they would like to be on the podcast. They're called Packers.peak on Instagram.
Okay.
And they said yes, they'd like to come on and talk about the Packers game with us. So we're going to get another Packers fan to talk to us about about the game. I've never really talked to a Packers fan before.
A cheesehead,
A cheesehead.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be interesting. Hopefully,
And also, while we're on the subject of lining up guests, I also lined up a Falcons fan page. They're called Falcons Drip, and so they're going to come on and talk to us when the Eagles play the Falcons.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're on Team Michael Penix or Team Cousins.
That'll be a good question to ask them. So I've got the Packers and Falcons. I'm working on other teams, just haven't found them yet. So a little bit of like a twist, a little bit of more of a different, aspect on those games when we're talking about them. That should be fun.
Right.
All right. So those are our 5 games. Does that round out our 5 games?
Sure. I mean, I did have week 15 Dolphins Texans just because I want to see if the Dolphins are still, in that trajectory of taking over the NFC East or AFC East. I mean,
right.
Because the Patriots probably going to be bad again this year. Yeah, so I'd like to see who's gonna. I mean, Buffalo traded away
Stephon Diggs.
And I don't think they'll be as good. So I want to see if the Texans have surpassed as a dominant force in the AFC. So
yeah, that'll be a good game to see.
Definitely. CJ Stroud versus concussion guy. What's his name?
Tua Tagovailoa.
There you go. Couldn't remember. It took too many hits to the head.
Too bad.
Definitely.
So another top 5. So let's just say here that we're gonna look ahead into the future and top 5 teams at the end of this season.
Oof.
Where do you think? You can take your bias of being an Eagles fan out of it if you want, or you can keep it in. You can keep it in there and give it and tell me where you think the top 5 teams at the end of this season is going to be.
All right, I'm not going to take my bias out of it because that would just throw everybody's stats off, right? So I'm just going to go. It's going to go Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, Texans.
Oh.
And then I'm going to go number 5. I know my buddy, my number 1 club friend, Sean Beckerman, to be proud of this. The Jets.
The Jets at number 5.
The Jets at number 5.
Wow.
I feel like they've done a lot this offseason to improve that team, to surround Aaron Rodgers with the weapons and the protection, because they brought a lot of people in to hopefully keep him upright and healthy. So I think if he's upright and healthy, that team can be a very dangerous team in the AFC.
My top 5. I'm going to take my Eagles bias out. I'm not going to put the Eagles in it at all.
Okay.
Okay. I have 49ers, Chiefs,
okay,
Lions, Ravens, and then this one's I think going to be out of the blue here, but Bengals.
If they stay healthy.
If they stay healthy. If they stay healthy, those are a top 5. And number 6 would be the Eagles. I like that.
So much for that bias taken out.
They're right on the brink. They're ready to just pounce on those Bengals as soon as they get injured.
Right.
Yeah, that's my top 5 for.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah. So top 5 players. Who are going to be the top 5 players at the end of this season? So that would be like who's going to be the MVP of this year? Who are the top 5 guys?
Well, I'm going to take a second to think about that because I thought it meant like the top 5 players we were watching
that's a good one too. That's a good one too. Go for that. Go for that.
The
top 5 players we're going to watch.
That I'll be watching. One will be Blake Corum that plays in LA. And I love their running back coming out of
Michigan. You wanted Eagles to draft
him. I wanted the Eagles to grab him, but they didn't. Number 2, I'm gonna go reference what I just mentioned. Aaron Rodgers. Like I want to see what Aaron Rodgers is gonna do. Like he's another year older. He's coming off a big injury. I want to see what that Jets team is gonna look like. Like I'm gonna keep my eye on him. Hopefully he's healthy, and I want to see. Obviously, I have them, in my top 5 rankings.
Yeah.
So obviously, I have them doing good if he's healthy. So it'll be interesting to see. My 3 they go hand in hand because my bias is in there. I want to see what Saquon does with us, the Eagles, and how he affects the dynamics of our run game. And I also want to see Isaiah Rodgers and what he is capable of bringing to the DB room and on the field. We see him practicing. We hear Goldberg's podcast talk highly of him in OTAs and what he's been able to do. So I'm very excited to see what he does during the season. And 2 more players I'm gonna throw out there. Like I said earlier, Xavier Worthy in Kansas City. I want to see if Kansas City made the right decision in the wide receiver that they picked. And the last one I want to see is if Michael Penix ever touches the field next season.
Yeah. I would say he's got a pretty good chance to touch that field this season. Kirk Cousins. They're going to be penalized apparently. And so are the Eagles. Are going to be penalized for early tampering. We haven't found out what the punishment's going to be yet, but that's going to leave a sour taste, and I'm sure if Falcons fans.
So, I mean, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, like that story intrigues me because not only because they paid Kirk Cousins all that money, but it also reminds me of that. I guess it was early 2000s or late 90s movie. I can't think of the name right now. I just had a brain fart.
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday, you got the Michael Penix is Jamie
Foxx,
and you got the old guy
Dennis Quaid,
and Kirk Cousins.
That's a really good comparison.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for that storyline to play out. I want to see how that works out for Atlanta.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think you hit the nose on the head right there. That could very well turn out to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely. That'd be interesting to see. I'm gonna make that my number 5 now, because now I'm intrigued. That's my number 5. My number 1 is seeing Saquon behind that Eagles offensive line, and him and having Jalen. I saw a stat that Saquon has only had one other Pro Bowler on the team with him in his whole career.
Oh wow,
that's it.
Oh wow,
just one other. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it was either him and then somebody else, or
defensive. Somebody defensive.
Yeah, but that was the stat. I was like, oh wow, because he's now has many Pro Bowlers on his team right now as an Eagles player, and he hasn't even touched the field yet.
Right.
So I'm excited to see that. I'm also very intrigued and excited to see what C.J. Stroud does with the Texans wide receivers. They have Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and now Stephon Diggs. Like 3-headed monster of receivers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I brought the Texans up a bunch of times today, and I completely forgot about their receiving core. Like, yeah you're right. They got a hell of a team over there.
And guess who their running back is as well this year? He kills me in fantasy football every year.
Rodgers, right?
Not Rodgers. Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon kills me in fantasy football every single year.
You're gonna draft him again.
100%. I need to draft him. I have to draft him. Got to draft him high. Number one.
Right.
So yeah, that's the CJ Stroud and what he's going to do in Texas in the Texans is going to be interesting to see.
Definitely.
Number 3 for me is Caleb Williams. The Bears could be a viable team to go up against the Packers. I really do think if they have plugged in the appropriate guys on their team, especially the receiving core with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and what's his name, Roman, right? That should be a pretty good team. So they're not going to be terrible. They're not going to be terrible. So I'm excited to see that. And also number 4 is what Pittsburgh is going to do with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. There's talks about Justin Fields doing other things other than quarterback position,
right,
like returning kickoffs. That was put out there, and so now I've got my antennas up. I really see what they're going to do there. That's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
I actually crossed off my Packers. I had the Packers-Rams game that I had. I actually crossed off Steelers-Cowboys. I had that game because I did for what you just said. Like, I want to see what the Steelers are going to do with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, and how that dynamic is going to work out.
Yeah,
but I felt like that was just too. I didn't want to say Cowboys. You know what I mean? So,
we're not looking.
You know what I mean? We got the in-state rival, and then we got our actual rival. I didn't want to bring that to the podcast. But you put it out there, so I'll follow you along.
Okay. And then number 5 definitely was what you just said with Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. That's going to be fun to see.
Definitely.
That you made.
Be exciting.
Yeah, that you made that reference. I always love movie reference. You always get me with a movie reference.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? The fucking movie king over here.
What was the other thing? Top 5. Do you have a top 5 games that the Eagles are going to be playing this year that you're looking forward to? Are you looking forward to the Brazil game?
Only because it's the first game of the season.
But right, not because it's in Brazil.
No, not so much that it's in Brazil. It's just because of the first game of the season. It doesn't really. I mean, playing the Packers, whether it be week 1 or week 12, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't. excite me either way, or
It's not flashy. It's not flashy.
It's not a flashy game. Yeah, it's not like a rivalry game like a Cowboy or a Giants game when they're good. So I mean, let me run through the schedule and I'll tell you real quick. But
I'm looking forward to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Eagles are going to play the Buccaneers this year in Tampa Bay, and that's going to be a rematch of their dismal playoff game. We're also going to
really. I mean,
it's definitely a rematch.
It's not Tampa Bay anymore, so it's like Mayfield Bay. It sounds a little bit, more like a lake than.
This reminds me, we're going to have a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan come on and talk too. His name is Max Steele. He's got a really good Instagram page.
Max Steele.
Yeah, he follows.
That's a fake name. If I ever heard of one.
Right. He follows. Yeah. He does a really good job following the Buccaneers, so he'll be on the podcast too.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule, and I don't. You know what? The Baltimore game.
Yeah.
Baltimore game will be my number one.
Yep. I'm trying to get credentials for that game. If we get the credentials, we're going.
I hope we get it. I hope we get it. My number two would be Dougie P coming back.
Again, though? Number two, that's like the second time, right? He's already been back.
It's Dougie P.
That's your team. That is your team.
My boy. Those are my boys. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is going to sound kind of weird, but only because I want to see Jaden McDaniels, the Commanders, because I've heard that he's been pretty accurate in his OTAs over there in Washington. Like I've heard the ball hasn't hit the ground, really. So
do yourself a favor. Do his research. Search for Jalen Carter versus Jalen Daniels.
Really?
Yeah, Jalen Carter owns that guy.
Let's see if he does it again in the NFL. You know what I mean?
I'll look for the video I saw. I'll send it to you. It was like this guy, Jalen Carter, was living in the backfield for this guy. So
right. So all right. So that was at 3.
Yeah.
4 would be the Pittsburgh game. Again, to see the Russell, Justin Fields dynamic, and then how can you not have the Eagles Cowboys game at number 5 or on the list? Period.
Always, yeah. I always look forward to the first one. I always look forward to the first Eagles Cowboys game.
Right.
Usually the second one is kind of up in the air for me, but the first one is always excited. I'm always excited about that. I'm sure we'll have Nate on the podcast when he talks about Dallas. Hopefully.
You sure he wants to come back on? I mean, after the season last season, he didn't even come back on. He didn't even come on for the draft.
No, he's moving, I think, and also he's expecting his 4th child.
Oh wow, God bless.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of stuff going on for him.
Some pastors really have time.
They do. 6 out of the 7 days they do, right?
Oh man.
No, but he's such a great guy and such a beautiful family, and I only wish him the best. That guy, he's a good guy.
Definitely.
So that I'm always looking forward to the first Cowboys game of the season. That always seems like it's going to be fun. What was the other game I was looking forward to? I'm looking forward to coming off the bye, playing against the Browns. That's going to be an interesting game because that will tell you where the Eagles are going to be, because that's such an early bye week, and that's going to be a huge gauntlet to go through to face. The Eagles are going to be facing the rest of that season. What was the other one I'm looking forward to? I love the Rams stadium. So the Eagles go out to LA again on Sunday Night Football and play the Los Angeles Rams. I'm looking forward to that game. No Aaron Donald, should be interesting.
Hey, speaking of Aaron Donald, EA Sports has a dilemma on their hands. This year it's NFL season 2025, and you know how they titled their seasons.
Yep.
Madden 25. There's a problem. They've already had a Madden 25 about 5 to 10 years ago. I forget how long it's been, but
yeah. I don't know why they did that. So stupid.
Yeah, I guess a 25 anniversary, 25 years.
Yeah,
I get it, but stick with just having an anniversary edition. Don't put. This is gonna be confused. I just feel sorry for the one kid's grandmother that's gonna be at like Walmart and see Madden 25 on sale for like $5, and their grandma's gonna come home and like hand it to them, and they're gonna be like, "What is this?" This came out in like early 2000s. So in that aspect, but who would you put on the cover this year of Madden NFL?
Yeah, they haven't really talked who they're going to be. Why not put like I think you're hinting, why not put Aaron Donald on it? He can't, there's no curse to break or have, so put him on there. But like,
I'm sorry, Mike. He's been the only player that's always been at 99 his whole
career. Oh wow, I did not know that. His whole career he's been at 99. That's impressive. Yeah, throw him on there. But like, really, are we really worried about Madden because there's a college football game coming out? That's what we're worried. We're more concerned about. They haven't had one in like 10 to 15 years. I'm excited for the college football game.
I'm kind of excited about it too. I was just talking to it with my brother. Shout out my brother Chris, my nephew Adriel. Yeah, we're kind of excited to see the mechanics, what the new mechanics they bring to it, and also how that translate into what the new Madden is going to look like. Because as we know, a lot of the mechanics that they use for those college games in the past have always gone into the new Madden. So I'm kind of looking forward to that aspect as well.
Yeah, because they could very well use that same engine and just tweak it to fit the NFL standards. They said that. I like one of the things is that when you're an away team and the crowd starts getting loud, it messes up your roots.
It's like a screen shit.
Yeah,
it's like in 2K when you had to tap the right and left triggers in the screen, like those.
Yes. It's so hard to come up with something that's original and new and fresh, and hopefully they did themselves a justice, and they did they did the game the justice, the franchise a justice, and it's gonna be interesting.
They need to. I've always said that they needed to update the franchises.
Yeah,
franchise modes. Like, I want to be able to see the Super Bowl trophies that I've won. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. There's just some things to it.
They did have that in not last year's Madden, but they Madden before that. Like in franchise, they had the trophies on like your desk. You can see them.
Yeah.
In your office.
I do remember that. But like they didn't do multiple. They only put one.
Just one. Yeah.
That's what. But I want to be able to see my multiple trophies.
First world problems, Miguel. That's the first world problem right there.
Exactly.
It's a first world problem. Yeah, I'm just that's the game I'm looking forward to. I don't have a PS5 yet, so we'll see.
We'll work on that. We'll
have to figure that out. Because I just can't be buying a game console, bringing it into my house, and everybody's asking questions. Where did that come from?
Just tell them it fell off the back of a truck. You asking questions?
Yeah. So I gotta figure the game plan for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are some good top 5 lists we got there. It's just kind of a little bit wet or whistle about getting ready for the season.
Should we? I mean, Mark did send us a message. I feel like we owe Mark to read off what he had wrote, just to have a little bit of his presence with us here today.
Do you want to read off what he said?
Sure. Let me just. I pulled it up right here. Mark says, I am looking forward to the Eagles as a whole. Particularly looking forward to seeing the development of our young players on defense. I am also looking forward to our game against the Ravens. I'm looking forward to seeing the Vikings spiral miserably with their half-assed quarterback.
That sounds like Mark.
That does sound like Mark. I am looking forward to seeing Detroit win their division. I am looking forward to seeing if the Texans can continue their push of growth, which the Texans have been brought up a lot today. So we are simpatico in that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the collapse of the Niners.
Oh,
who just gave? Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mark.
Last one.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Which, oddly enough, well, you had them in your top 5, Mike, but for whatever reason, they didn't come to my mind. I feel like they will have a drop off. I don't feel like that will be the same scary 49er team that we've seen these last 2 seasons. And I don't know why, because they really haven't had that much of a change in their franchise. Like, I know they just signed McCaffrey to an extension, an extra 2 years. I believe they added like $19 million to his contract or something in those terms. But I see that they're facing the problem with who they're going to sign, is whether it be Ayuk or I can't. The other guy just slipped my mind.
Samuel.
Debo Samuels. Yeah. And it's like they got to make a decision on, and they chose to pay a receiver that we haven't heard of that's on that team.
Right.
Like, so I'm confused on what they're doing. I don't think that team will have the same heart that they've been having these last 2 seasons. So,
do you think that the Super Bowl loss kind of knocked a little bit of a wind out of them?
Well, what they said about the Eagles coming into last season, right? Oh, they're going to have the Super Bowl hangover. They're not going to get off to a good start, and then we go 10-1. So
it just caught up with us. That's all. That's what happened.
I guess that's what it had to be, right? I don't know.
There's really no explaining what what they did was really unprecedented. Like, that doesn't normally happen. Like, that's not a normal thing to happen to a team. So
it wasn't. It was heartbreaking to have to deal with, especially after losing. Yeah, especially after the year before where we lost the Super Bowl, and then just that collapse just didn't help anything at all. Yeah. So hopefully this season we get back to that Super Bowl, man.
Yeah. So before we log out here,
okay,
there's one thing I want to bring up. We have to start a GoFundMe page or some sort of some sort of money generating thing, because Jeffrey Lurie is putting up a minority share of the Eagles. He's exploring it. He's not selling the team, because we know his son Julian is going to be. He's been groomed and be ready to take over the team. He's worked in multiple NFL teams over the course of his career. He's learning the ins and outs, Julian. So he will be the heir to the Eagles franchise. But a minority share, intriguing. I got to play the Powerball. I was
going to say, I'm about to pull money out of my 401k. I don't know if it'll be enough, but Jeffrey, this is my livelihood. My livelihood.
Here it is.
I live and breathe Philadelphia Eagles. So please accept this as a token of
a small minority share, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's he's like, again, it's not really official yet. He's just exploring it. But you got to think, Jeffrey Lurie is not going to be the owner of the Eagles. Another 10 years, maybe 20 years. I don't know. It doesn't. Jerry Jones has owned the Cowboys since 1965, 64.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. That's it's a long time to own a team. And so Jeffrey Lurie he bought the team in 1991, 1992.
Right.
So it's over 30 some years now. We're talking here. So.
It'll be interesting. What's kind of funny is all right, let's just put it this way. What celebrity do you think would put money into the Eagles?
To the Eagles. Wow, that's a good question.
Would you think like Kevin Hart?
He was the first that came to mind, but I don't think so.
Will Smith. I mean, Will Smith has a stake in the Sixers, so I don't know. if he would have money to go buy some Eagles. You know who I think definitely would have, if God rest his soul, if he was still among us. I think Kobe Bryant would have.
Oh yeah, he
bought some
probably
shares
he would.
I really do.
Yeah. What about this guy? He was Player of the Month last month. What about Bryce Harper?
Oof.
Right?
Who knows? Yeah, why not?
Because look at if Patrick Mahomes can go and buy a share of the Kansas City Royals, who couldn't say that Bryce Harper can buy a minority share of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Why not? Go for it.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
That definitely would be awesome. I would enjoy that very much so. I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be good. It'd be good to see. But back to the Kobe Bryant thing real quick. I don't know if Eagles fans, I'm a sneakerhead as well. Go get the Kobe Bryant. I think they're called Girl Dad sneakers. Let me double check that. They are the Eagle Green.
Okay.
They were made from a picture where Kobe Bryant was sitting courtside with his daughter, and he was wearing a Eagles beanie. And so the color is that of the Eagles beanie.
Oh.
And so if you're looking for a sneaker to match with the Eagles jersey, go with that. Let me just double check on the name real quick. Girl Dad, that's what they're called. These what the sneakers look like.
Those are cool.
Yeah. Very nice sneaker. That's the Eagle Green. So if you're looking for a sneaker to match with your jersey, definitely.
I know the picture you're talking about. I think you know what your picture you're talking about when he was on the sidelines. Yeah, that'd be cool to see. Before we sign out, I want to discuss a violation. You tell me if this is a violation.
We'll do. Let's go.
Okay. So, say you're playing a softball game.
Okay.
And it is the game's supposed to be over at 8:00, but it started late.
Okay.
Your team is up by, I think, let's say you're up by 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
Your team. But the thing is, you have an appointment. You have a Zoom meeting to go to a meeting for your son's soccer league.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not I guess it's mandatory, but you could have probably changed the day, and so it doesn't coincide with your game.
Mm-hmm.
So the meeting's at 8:00, but the game's not over yet. Your team is up by 1 run, and you only got 11 players. If you leave, that's an out for your team.
What inning are we in? How far into the game are we?
Fifth inning. Is it fifth inning? No, sixth inning. The sixth inning. So you have 2 at-bats left. 2 at-bats left.
Right, because softball only goes to the 7th inning, right?
Only go to the 7th inning. So it's 8:00, and you say, "Hey, coach, I got to go," and you leave. Is that a violation?
Yeah, you left your team hanging.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's not just me.
Team. Yeah. No. That's definitely a violation. That's wow. Yeah. I mean, what if you're up to bat and the person that they sub in for you that was probably already up to bat before?
No subs. There are no subs.
There's no subs.
No. That
so
becomes an out. That's an out.
Oh man. Yeah, you definitely hurt your team. So what if bases are loaded? You're the last one to bat.
Yep.
You lost the game.
That's it. Yeah.
2 outs.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a violation, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
so luckily we were able to put some more runs on the board, and we were able to go 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 7th and win the game.
Nice.
By 3 runs.
Nice.
But if we had tied, he was going to be number 2 up at the next inning, and that's an out. So, yeah. Shout out to Pete.
Bad job by you, Pete. But thank you for staying long enough to finish the game.
Yes. Yeah. So, Pete, thanks, bud. But schedule those meetings on a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Yeah. So yeah. Priorities, Pete. Priorities.
All fun.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So if you made it all the way this far to hear that little rant, thank you. Enjoy the weekend, and we will see you next week. Hopefully, Mark will be on here, and let's hear what he has to say.
He said he would be, but you know how we do. EAGLES.
Eagles.
Let's go, birds.
Go birds.
Hey, Mike, put on that. I'm feeling nasty.